This is dumb. So what's the deal with this idea that you have to wake up super early in order to be productive? It was kind of a trend for a while there on like quality of life, self-help YouTube to talk about how waking up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. is like the best thing ever and everyone should do it all the time. And I disagree. Let me explain. Sorry. Is it just me? Like every video essay YouTuber is saying like some hot take and then they'll be like, let me explain. But seriously, I'm more of a night owl, I guess. At this point, I guess I don't know, like average, because I go to bed at like 11 p.m. or midnight and then I wake up at like 7 a.m. It's not like I'm staying up super late unless it's, I don't know, unless I don't have to work. But I'm definitely not an early person. So every time I've tried to do this whole like wake up early thing, even for an extended period of time, just doesn't work. But before I talk about my perspectives as a night owl, I want to go ahead and mention some of the arguments that people make in favor of getting up early. Okay, the first big argument that I hear a lot of people make is that there's no distractions in the morning. Normally when people are talking about this, they're talking about this bad boy. Actually, I haven't checked my phone today. Anyway, a lot of people who get up early like that you're not getting lots of notifications in the morning. Say social media feels less tempting. And yeah, there's just overall less desire to use your phone. I think work is also less distracting at this time because the workday hasn't started yet. There probably are emails to reply to, but you don't feel like you have to get to them until like 8 or 9. So yeah, that's one claim that I hear in a lot of these videos, is that the morning is less distracting. Okay, the next thing that I hear a lot of people say is that if you wake up early, the day feels longer. I understand where this argument comes from. You always hear that our bodies are like attuned to the sunlight. So if you wake up when the sun rises, you're just gonna like feel more motivated to get things done because the sun's out. So a lot of people talk about how when I wake up early, I like to get some reading done, or I work on side projects, or I feel really motivated to work out. So yeah, the big idea here is basically more sunlight, more awake time, and more motivation to get things done, thus making the day feel longer. Another big argument is that waking up in the morning is quieter. You know, like everyone else in the house is asleep, the city's asleep, there's no like cars outside. You can hear the birds chirping and being like, congratulations, you did it, you woke up early, tweet, tweet.
Now the birds are burping and the birds are perching, the birds are chirping.
I think this kind of goes into the no distractions thing that I talked about earlier as well. Like the world feels quieter when you aren't getting a bunch of like text notifications, Facebook notifications, yada, yada, yada. It's literally quieter, but it's also quieter in terms of like distractions and things. I guess this kind of plays into that idea of I can get more things done. Some people work really well in just like total silence. The quietness, why does that sound wrong? Is that a word? The quietness makes it easier to get things done because you're less distracted. Kind of all these reasons are going together, which makes a lot of sense. All right, one more reason, and then I get to critique things. Ooh. And one more reason that people like to get up early is the sunrise. I'll be honest, this is the one that makes the most sense to me. I feel like a sunrise is one of those things that you can only get in the morning. Like sunset is also nice, but like there is a distinct difference between the way a sunrise and a sunset feels. Again, going back to the argument of like the day feels longer, the sunlight like energizes you and all those arguments. I can see how a good sunrise would give you like an extra kick and I don't know, if you became accustomed to it, I can see how it would be beneficial. And then it's just pretty. It's just pretty, you know? Like, is there much else to say? Not really. It's pretty, it's a nice experience. But yeah, these are just some of the arguments that I've heard from various YouTubers about why it's so great to wake up super early. And now I'm gonna tear these arguments to shreds. No, just kidding. As much as I can see the value in some of these arguments, they still don't work for me. Let me explain. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna go back to sleep now. Hey, it's 8 a.m. This is when I actually wake up. Well, I actually wake up at like 7 a.m., but I start working at 8 normally. You get the idea. At this time, I'm usually working on my side projects like YouTube and research stuff, except on Tuesdays and Thursdays, because then I have a class at 9 a.m. and I use this time to make sure that I'm fully prepared for my classes for the day. But yeah, at 8 a.m. I'm not doing work. I'm either getting ready for work or doing something that's more like a side project or passion project. So basically the things that a bunch of other people are saying, I feel like I have to do this at 5 in the morning, I'm doing them at like 8. And this just works better for me. For a while, Eric worked a job where he had to get up at like 5:30 or 6 every morning, and I would get up with him most days, and it was not effective. When I woke up that early, I just fell back asleep and then wound up kind of waking up around 8 or sometimes even later, and I would actually lose time on how much work I could get done. And this was like for a while. This wasn't like I tried it for a week and I was like, whoop, my body can't adjust. Like, we tried this for like a couple months and it did not stick with me. So 8 a.m., this is just what makes the most sense for me. Let's take a closer look at why. All right, argument number 1, no distractions. Yeet. I don't understand this one. Am I missing something? Because like, you can easily have no distractions at 8 a.m. It goes like this. Yeet. Yeet your phone too. Yeet that tip. Yeet your phone. And then you have no distractions. I'm gonna, Jordan Taylor, I like your videos, but I'm gonna specifically call out Jordan Taylor because his whole thing was like, I use my phone too much. And then when I got up at 5 a.m., I like didn't feel like using my phone anymore, which like, cool, that's great for you. I'm glad that works for you. But I know that that doesn't work for lots of people. Most of the people that I've lived with get up and immediately it's screen time, whether you're looking at your phone, watching TV. I don't look at my phone in the morning. I don't know. I usually start working around 8 and don't really check my phone until 10. I mean, like, caveat, pretty early in the morning when I'm getting ready, I will go through and make sure there aren't any pressing notifications. But unless there's like a really urgent text from my mom or something, I just sort of go, nope, and then I move on with my morning. I know that's easier said than done. It took me a long time to get into this habit, but the point that I'm trying to make in this video is there's nothing inherently less distracting about 5 a.m. It's more about, this sounds like so pretentious. It's more about having the self-control to not look at your phone. Like, what I'm saying is like, I don't care. I literally don't care if you look at your phone. But if not being distracted is one of your priorities, that does, unfortunately, it takes self-control. Maybe for you, getting up at 5 a.m. is, what mentally gets you in a state where you don't want to check your phone. For me, I would rather use my self-control on not looking at my phone instead of having to self-control myself to wake up at 5 a.m. every morning. That's insane. And I could talk about this for a long time, but basically one tip is just set aside a chunk of time every day where you say, I'm not gonna look at my phone for a couple hours. Maybe that's really early in the morning, maybe it's in the middle of the workday. Don't worry, no one's gonna be upset that you didn't respond to an email in 2 hours. Like, you're fine. Argument 2, the day feels longer when you wake up early. Toodles. This is another one that I don't understand. Like, yes, the day feels longer, but the night feels shorter. You know, that's how time works. All that really matters is that you're getting 8 hours of sleep, and the rest of it is just, I guess, kind of personal preference. Like, if you're getting the same amount of sleep, you can get the same amount of work done, right? A lot of the people whose videos I watched were talking about how they use the early morning to work on side projects, read, work out, that sort of stuff. And obviously that's great, but there's no reason that you can't do that later in the day. I think some people don't feel motivated to do some of those things after a long day of work, but I do. When I've had a long day, I'm like, okay, go take a jog to de-stress. Or I like to read before I go to bed. And these things that I guess could be seen as getting work done, for me, I try to view them more as a way to relax and stop thinking about work. Now, of course, if I got home from work at 6 and had to go to bed at 9, yes, I wouldn't want to do those things at night. I would probably end up saving a lot of them for the next morning if I went to bed that early. But because I don't, I can get those things done in the evening. I guess it just depends on what you define as relaxing versus energizing. Like I said, it's mostly a personal preference thing for this one. Next argument. It's quieter in the morning. Kobe. Yeah! Yeah, this is yet another one that like I kind of understand what you're saying, but in practice, it does not work for me. Specifically when I think of the it's quieter argument, I seem to remember Wheezy Waiter's video about getting up early. And again, love Wheezy Waiter, not trying to throw him under the bus, but one of his arguments was that, yeah, it's like quieter and less, kind of like it's less distracting, but for him, it seemed less about technology and more about actual noise. And dude has a kid. I think that a lot of the people who make the it's quieter in the morning argument are parents. Obviously, I can't relate to that argument, but I will say I can kind of understand why it would be appealing to get up before your kids, get things done without like immediately just the noise that comes with children. When you don't have kids, I feel like it being quieter isn't a huge benefit. You know, my husband and I are already fairly quiet unless he's watching like a loud gaming YouTuber on the TV. He's mostly in here on his computer and wearing headphones. So like it's not a particularly loud house. If you have a very small family or a family of mostly like adults, I would say that the cons outweigh the pros, because like if I ever have to wake up early and I don't want to wake Eric up, I hate it. I like can't turn the light on to pick up my clothes and like using my phone's flashlight and like it, you know, I feel like I have to be so quiet. I don't want to wake the dogs up because then they'll bark and they'll wake Eric up, and it's just like, yes, it's quieter, but at what cost? Last one, the sunrise. And I can't crumple this one up. Sunrises are nice every once in a while, so I'll let you guys have this one. It's kind of covered in water though. Sorry. But ultimately, all things considered, I think getting up at 7 a.m. is dumb for me. Obviously, there are morning people who it just like works better for you guys, and that's great. But I feel like this is just sort of like turned into another one of those videos where I take a thing that a lot of YouTubers say is like gonna change your life. And yeah, I guess I like critique that idea. And yeah, that, you know, disclaimer, there's nothing wrong with that idea. I just have a problem when people act like it's the way that everyone should be. It's the only way to live. Like you have to wake up early if you want to be successful and productive. And it's like, nah. Also, what is successful? Like, is successful getting more work done? Or like, you know, like, are you happy? And are you getting enough sleep? That's all I care about, man. Don't stress about getting up early. That's all I'm trying to say, is just chill. Everyone needs to chill. people are walking by, everyone needs to chill, and then those people are like, what the heck is wrong with that lady? I think this is a good place to stop. But basically, do your thing, wake up when you want, don't try to convince people that your way is the best way and the only way to live. And lastly, if you wake up any earlier than 5 a.m., you got a problem. Wink, just kidding. Thank you for watching this video. This is something that's been on my mind for a hot minute. Like I said, it was like a huge trend a while ago where I feel like, I mean, maybe it was just a coincidence, but like a lot of the people I subscribed to were talking about how great it is to wake up super early in the morning. They almost convinced me. And then I had to actually do it, and I did not enjoy it. So I don't know, I just wanted to talk about that. What do you guys think? Are you a morning person or an evening person? I know you're out there. Show yourself if you are a morning person. And if you're a night owl, let me know that I'm not alone. First of all, do you feel like you can be productive and stay up late? If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, because we put videos out every other Friday about music, media, linguistics, and whatever else is on my mind that week. Thanks so much for watching. See ya. And one more, people. What? So what's up with the deal? What? I want to point out that I woke up at 5 a.m. I've been filming for almost 2 hours and the sun is just now rising. So, you know, if you want to see the sunrise, like, just get up at 6:30.